Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It is the Three Quarter Time Podcast. We've just had another huge round of footy, a few upsets, a few beltings, a few dismal performances, and a few honourable losses. Well, it's T-Dub here with Janus and Cookie, the usual hosts. One day we will get a guest on here, but that is not today. Today we
Yes.
review another round that
Bang.
was. Now, Cookie, as he always does, he kicks us off with a game on this day. We need a name for this segment, but basically what Cookie does is he dives into the archives of this great game that is Australian rules football, and he finds a specific game on the date. So today is the 31st of March. So, Cookie, what have you got for us, great man?
Yes. We're going into the archives. So we're going to 2007.
Oh, yes.
And we are going to Collingwood versus North Melbourne at the G. Now, this game's iconic for one big reason.
Yep.
With about 3 minutes to go in the game, Collingwood are up by 5 points. And Shannon Grant from North Melbourne takes a mark about 50 out, and Heath Shaw sprints over the line by 10 meters over the mark, given 50, but then the 50-meter penalty, the umpire puts him about 15, 20 meters out in front, and then Grant shanks the shit out of the ball and it cannons into the post, I believe.
Yep.
Now, the North fans were filthy about this, into the right goalpost. The North fans were filthy because when he takes the mark, it's on the 50-meter line, but he doesn't go to the goal square. So there's a bit of history for you. March 31st, 03. If you were there at the game, shoot us a comment because that was a hell of a finish. I think the Pies were down by about 4 goals going into the last quarter as well.
Mm.
So there you go.
Didn't they put him at the top of the goal square instead of the goal line?
No, it wasn't even at the top of the goal square. It was like the guy on the mark was like
Outside
5-10 meters out
geez.
from the goal square.
It's a howler. That is a genuine howler.
Yeah, it was bad. And the North fans were not happy. But in saying that, it was an absolute shank.
Oh, he munged it.
It was as bad as you can kick a ball.
It's a genuine
Yes.
mung.
Now we've got a lot more games to choose from now that we're into we're almost at April. We're really getting into the footy season now.
Yes.
It's good to see. Now, Janus, the week kicked off for us. We headed to Marvel. Well,
Yes.
Let's just bypass the Essendon Port game. Well, no, we don't bypass it, but maybe you want to gouge my eyes out watching that as a
Yeah, it was
supporter
a
of
dour. It
Hawthorn.
was a dour affair, wasn't it?
It was not pretty.
No, but the ball was moved well in the middle of the ground. No one could score though.
No,
So-
it was the game would have been worth it if Port won, but then bloody
Spoken like a true Hawthorn
Saad
supporter.
El Hooli. Yeah,
it wasn't worth it. I finished that game on my couch and I was like, why have I just spent my Thursday night doing this? Anyway, luckily the Friday night game was better. But in all seriousness, credit to Essendon, they literally had to win that game or would have been under so much pressure. So their season is away now.
the lifeline, sort of.
They're alive.
Yes.
And it's a good win, especially because Port do like playing there.
True.
It's Port's second loss in
what do
like
you think of Horn
13
Francis?
games there.
What did we think of Horn Francis?
He was, I'm not sure how much
Well-
you watched. But he was struggling.
Yeah, I saw something that the Corn said he wasn't happy with his body language. I suppose I would agree with what Kane said. He does have a little bit of a sook when he's not going his way. It's probably half the reason he left North Melbourne.
Yeah, he had big
All
body
those
language
moons
problems in
ago.
North.
Yeah, I remember that incident with like Goldstein, was it? And he just like completely burned him.
Yep.
Was that against the Giants?
It was with Goldstein though. You don't
Yeah,
burn
it was
Gold.
with
You don't
Goldstein.
burn Goldie
He-
like that.
He burnt him, So yeah, temperament issues. I mean, it's why it makes him a fierce competitor. But come on, man.
Here's a question just on
Yeah.
that. Will North finish
Yep.
higher than Port?
Ooh,
Ooh.
Great question.
I'm going to say no. Only because Port have the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, I was because of the home ground advantage. That's about the only reason I can think of. And they get Butters back. Like, let's be real. Their best player is not playing by a mile.
True.
Like, there's not many players I'd like go into battle with, like go in the trenches with. Zach Butters is one of those players. There's a few others, but I'd go to war with Zach Butters. That man is a bull.
Oh, yeah.
and I'd argue there's not a player more important to a team than Zach Butters to Port too.
Have you
He is
watched?
very important.
Have you
Did he
watched
win
the
the
Carlton
most
game?
courageous medal? And who are you referencing? Who would be most important?
Lewis Young.
Wiedering. If Carlton lost Wiedering,
okay.
we would lose by 80 points every week. Actually, in saying that, Silvani played really
I
well.
won't disagree.
No, but you're right, Janus. It's in that
Transition to the
like
Blues.
A+ discussion of like importance. Like I would say Hawthorn and Geelong don't have a player. Oh, Sicily maybe. Cameron. But like
More Sicily last year, not this year, I
but
would say.
oh, don't underestimate
say
Sicily's
there's
involvement
anyone
this
missing,
year.
Lamb?
He's not defending this year. He's like he's a quarterback this year. I reckon he's just as important to your ball use, at least. Because like Barras and Battle are good kicks, but they're not Sicily. No one's
Barras won't kick.
No one's Sicily.
Nah.
But anyway, yes, the Blues, they played on a Friday night, and again, they didn't fade. They only kicked 4-4 in the second half, but hey, that's not like disgustingly poor. 2 goals 7 and 2 goals 8 is poor, which is the previous weeks. Lewis Young played very, very well. 2 goals, 9 touches or whatever it was, and the Brody Kemp show kicking 5. Jeez, when he kicked that goal from 50 in the third quarter, jeez, he flushed that. It was beautiful. And
I believe he kicked 5. I was at the game. I didn't even think he was taking over like that. And then I was like, geez, Kemp kicked 5. And they had 4 goal kickers or something, right?
4 goal kickers. Kemp kicked 5, Kerno 3, Young 2, Motlop 1.
It's remarkable.
So, I mean,
they were flushing him.
Yep.
50.
Kempe, I call him Kempe. That's just what I call him because there's a player in the NHL called Adrian Kempe, plays for the LA Kings, and I'm like, oh my word, I'm just now going to call Brody Kempe. So Brody, if you're watching, you are Brody Kempe to this podcast. No, Kemp was really good. He was, and so was Silvani too. The two of them played really, really well. Probably Cripps' worst game for a while. He wasn't that good. But Tommy De Koning, again, just see the All-Australian ruckman at the moment? Or is Meek?
100%. Nah.
Which of the two is All-Australian at the moment?
He's the blueprint.
He hasn't won a game though, boys.
That's true. And Meek's won 4.
That's a good point.
Yeah. If he'd won 1 or 2, sure.
Still, 28 touches and
without
28 outs, though.
What do you think of Meek's like ability as sort of a ground ball player, as sort of an extra mid? Because Tom De Koning is sort of an extra midfielder.
He's evolving the ruck position.
Meek's definitely not like De Koning.
Yeah,
but he's getting better every week, definitely.
De Koning is evolving the ruck position, like Dean Cox did.
Oh yeah.
Dean Cox walked so Max Gawn
Definitely.
could run, and I've got a feeling De Koning is walking so that someone better than him comes through. Because, I mean, you look at how the ruckmen play now. A lot of them are starting to play more like your Luke Jacksons, your Tom De Konings. They're starting to be more important around the ground. And pretty soon, I've got a feeling you're going to start seeing ruckmen kick a goal a game. Whereas like 5
here's the question.
5 years ago, you wouldn't say that.
Will Sam De Koning ever play the ruck like TDK does, or is he going to stay down back? He's not that type of player.
I only say that because Tom De Koning's always been a ruck, and De Koning was sort of growing into it by necessity, and now we're playing with him as a. He's still learning on the fly. So.
They're not built the
He
same.
plays more like centre half back.
All I can say is in that Carlton game where Sam De Koning's first game in the ruck, he got absolutely bullied by his brother. That was when Carlton won by like.
Our season
I
ended that
remember
night.
that.
Yeah. All I can say is like that. I mean, that was two brothers fighting in the backyard, and who's older? I forget.
Oh, jeez, that's one of them's 2 years older. I think it's Tom.
And Tom got one over on the little brother. So, yeah.
Shout out to the Dogs, though. I mean,
Tom's older.
I thought they were about to get towed up for a second.
You've clearly never seen a Carlton game.
No.
You've clearly never watched Carlton play.
I've been to all of them this year. I've watched all of them this year live.
Oh, you poor man. Can you not go this week so that they win?
I actually am going this week, unfortunately.
Oh,
anyway.
0-4 for the first time since 2019.
We'll be there in Gatherend as well. So what does that mean?
If we lose to West Coast, you'll see a side of me that's not healthy.
It can't happen.
It's 2 weeks away.
Owies could kick 9.
He could kick 9.
Part of me would love it.
At the 9-minute mark, I might put the bird up for Harley Reid in honour.
Yeah.
Let's go to the hill and just get everyone to do it.
At the 9-minute mark of the first quarter.
I don't think that would be too hard. That wouldn't be too hard.
It wouldn't be hard at all.
Speaking of Adelaide, the Crows had a very good win.
Oh, yes.
It was a good game.
It was better than I thought.
100%.
Yeah, no, they played well, Adelaide. They not credit to North. North were good. They're just not ready. They're just not ready to win those games. They're not ready to beat those teams. Yep. Adelaide are like 3 years just ahead of North at the moment.
That's a good call. But North would have lost no supporters from that game.
Nah.
It showed more than it didn't.
Yeah. They were non-competitive.
Definitely.
That was my fear. My fear going into the game was, oh my word, North are going to be non-competitive here. They're just going to be like, they're going to have had the good win, used all their like pennies, but they were good. They were competitive. I was a bit worried early because Adelaide had so much of the ball, so much of the ball, and were dominating, but they weren't really scoring. And I'm like, if North can just pinch a couple here, we've got a game. And then sure enough, they kicked 3 in 5 minutes and it was game on. But then Adelaide were just too strong.
It was the same thing in the second quarter. It was the same thing in the second quarter. Adelaide dominated, and then North, I think Draper kicked that goal, and then North went bang, bang, game on.
Larky missing on half-time was really costly.
Yeah.
That would have made it
all I can say is with North,
13 points.
At least their draftees, like Finn O'Sullivan, he's a jet.
That's a word.
A name for him. I'm going to call him Shakira. Shakira.
Why are you going to call him Shakira?
He's got those Shakira hips. Hips don't lie.
Yes.
He's got a bit of the Will Days about him. So, like,
the Will Days.
He's a good ball user, and he looks really good streaming out from half back into the middle.
Stewie Jew's hips.
Yeah. So, shout out to Shakira. Good work, Finn O'Sullivan.
Shakira Sullivan.
Now, from one O'Sullivan to another. Cats Janus.
Oh, I like this.
Cats Janus. Yeah. Up in the cyclone.
Where to start? Started well. Pressure was good early. It was a wet game, but we looked really clean with the ball to start with. And Myers, Dempsey, Ollie Henry, they all got involved early. Holmes got involved early. Atkins did a really good job on Lachie Neale in the first half. I actually thought Mark O'Connell was going to go to him because in the last game we played at the Gabba, which we won. He tagged Neil out of the game, but Atkins did a good job. But it was just that it was that third quarter again. It was sort of like falling asleep on the M1. We just let them. The game dried up and we got sloppy. The game dried up and we looked like we were still playing in the wet. If that makes sense. Brisbane was able to kick it around because they were such good kicks of the ball. They kept it off us. All the pressure we applied was for nothing in the third quarter. And then we had to play catch up in the fourth, but it was not to be. It was not to be. But
Do we
Connor
think
O'Sullivan
Brisbane-
looked really good and really good. I'm happy with how he's going. Go to Tim's point, yeah. What are you saying
We
about
think
Brisbane?
Brisbane is a top 4 lock. Like,
Yep.
guaranteed.
They weren't last year.
Timmy?
I'd say so.
I know.
Well, I mean, realistically, how many top 4 teams are there right now? So Adelaide are a chance. They're not a lock, but they're a chance.
Put it this way: are Brisbane or Hawthorn more likely to make top 4?
Hawthorn. You know what I'd say? No, that's not right. I would say Adelaide are a chance, top 4. Brisbane are a chance. Carlton, Collingwood are they're a chance. They're a chance. The Bombers are no
The
chance.
Cats are always a
Freo
chance.
are no chance. Cats are a chance. Suns, unlikely, but unlikely. Let's be realistic here. The Giants, are they a chance?
Definitely.
Yeah.
They're a chance.
Then Hawthorn, Melbourne North, Port, Richmond, St Kilda, Sydney, West Coast Bulldogs. I'd say none of them are a top 4 chance. Sydney maybe if they get Goulden back and went on a run, but so there's 6 teams that are probably top 4 chances at the moment. So I'd say yes, they are. They're more than a chance. Like they've got a better chance of making the top 4 than Adelaide or Gold Coast. But part of me says that
if you
because
look-
I've seen them do
Believe
it
we're
before.
talking about Gold Coast and top 4 discussions.
Yeah.
It's unlikely.
And if you look at how
but it's possible.
Brisbane have run games out, they've been down in a position and then they've just found ways to win.
Yeah, that's what good teams do.
Just found a way.
We'll just-
It's not a matter that they're always going to come. It's just a matter of when they will.
We'll go about an
There we
hour. Go about an hour north to the Gold Coast. Geez, they had to win on the G. I think
That's
Cookie put it on them last
Great
week.
win.
I think maybe they had to
No,
win.
I did. I think.
Or Janus did. Anyways, one of us put them on,
Yeah, yeah.
and they pile it on. Jeez, was
Dominated.
Cookie, what are your
Absolutely
thoughts on the
dominated.
Suns?
I love that game. Love seeing the Suns just pump the D's.
Yeah,
I had a mate who's a D's fan, and he just puts in the group chat, the D's are so back to 2013, and I was like, completely agree. It was just a belting on the G. Like, when was the last time Melbourne got belted on the G like that? Probably not long ago. Still,
no,
it was
but
like,
it is a good question.
you know what I mean?
it is a
Melbourne
really good
haven't been
question.
belted on the G for like a while.
What's belted?
I'd say more than like 50 points.
All right, I'm
points.
on it. Just keep talking.
It
I'll
was phenomenal,
find it
though.
for you.
The Suns young guns. I reckon the Suns have such good depth. Like better than most.
Yep.
Like you've got like the players like
Better than most.
Will Powell and just
He's a gun, that
even
kid.
Closey, he was alright. Like
Oh,
just
yeah.
Ben Long, he just pops up every time when you need him to.
Ben Long was
It's
actually
like,
really
how are you
important.
there?
It was really important.
He is so important to all
Set up
to the
so much
Suns all the
scores.
time.
Yeah.
Put a bit of Luke
just
Bruce
on-
about him, Ben Long.
What would you think about their?
That's
their
that's
new
so
look sort of
offensive
ball
to Luke
movement?
Bruce.
No, I back it. I'm backing it. He's a new Luke
Cookie.
Bruce. Anyway, what were you saying, Jonas?
What do you think about their sort of new look ball movement? It looked very Damien Hardwick, that's for sure.
It did. and they were just busting out of the center clearance.
Smash them
And
on
their inside
transition,
kickers were
smash them
good.
on
The
turnover.
thing is, they have Walter, Reed, and King, so they can bomb it, but they also can just dart one in because they're
Yeah.
all pretty mobile. Oh, yeah.
But now
Good
you've
though, it's
got
good
sort
to
of
watch.
Bailey Humphrey filling that sort of Dustin Martin role. He looked
Mm.
good. And I think that's how Dimmer's sort of described him like that. And then I thought Rioli and Noble were really good. And it
They
makes
were.
sense that they look good in that sort of ball movement style because they've both done it before. So Rioli obviously came across from Richmond, so he's worked with Hardwick. And then Noble, he worked with Craig McRae. He got coached by Craig McRae, who was an assistant coach at Richmond. And no wonder they're looking really good playing like that.
The thing that
Actually,
Dimmer's
they
got
said a
this
stat
time.
on the broadcast.
Sorry, you go, Cookie.
Noble and Rioli had played more games on the G than the entire Gold Coast team combined.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they had like 5 or 6 games more. The entire Gold Coast team.
There's a phenomenal
remarkable.
stat.
Good, yeah. What were you saying, Tim?
The thing that Dimmer has at his disposal now is I know he had Dusty and Cochin and Lambert and Graham, like not to like begrudge them, but now he has an elite midfield, like a genuine elite midfield, like a team that can just bust it out of center. Like Richmond scored, I swear Richmond dominated from turnover off halfback. That's where they killed sides. They absolutely destroyed them off halfback. But now they have a team. Dimmer has Rowell, Anderson, Witts, Miller, Humphrey when he flashes through there, Sammy Flanders. Like, he has a good, genuine midfield. The only knock I have on Gold Coast midfield is their ball use. None of them are elite kicks. None of them are Nick Dacos. None of them are like, who's another good example? Like Andy Brayshaw. I feel like he's a pretty good kick. That could be a shocking call. But
Rio fans might be correcting us about that one, but yeah, no, I agree.
like,
I know what you mean.
John Dawson.
yeah,
There you go.
Dawson. Yeah, another
Jordan
great
Dawson.
example.
Yeah.
Or like Warner. Warner's a good kick.
Yeah.
On the Melbourne, just to go back to that, last year they lost to Collingwood in round 24 by 46. Other than that, I know I've gone through the previous like 3-4 seasons. Other than that, it's been a long time since they've been belted on, like properly belted on the G. But Gold Coast excite me. I just hope they can keep. They've got 2 good tall backs, Andrew and Collins. It's a shame Ballard's not fit. That could be the difference between them going deep in September and not, to be honest.
It is ACL, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's a bit.
But you got to think about it. They've had 2 big wins away to start. They haven't played at home yet. So
no, big game against Adelaide.
They've played
this
2
week.
bottom 4 sides, though. Let's be real.
But still, they've won at Optus and they've won at
The MCG.
The MCG, which are places you have to win if you're
Yeah.
anyway considering being serious.
Speaking of Optus, the Derby.
Yes.
Sarong now with 4 Glendinning Allen medals. Just phenomenal. Great win. Janus, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he was unbelievable. He's tied with Paul Hasselby. So they've got 4 apiece.
Hazelby.
But yeah, Sarong just absolutely mauled them in the middle, and he's a good kick too. Like, he's a really good kick. And then if you look at them going forward, Tracy played a really good game and got the better of Jeremy McGovern, I thought. But just on that derby, how good is the story of Isaiah Dudley, Eddie Betts' nephew? Comes on his first derby, kicks 2 goals, and And to be honest, he was actually quite impactful up the ground as well.
It was good. He's so
Hey.
small though.
Oh,
How small he
smaller than the
is.
Wizards.
5'6",
He
168.
maybe.
5'6", he's
When
smaller
he
than
kicked
me.
the goal, his teammates are celebrating him. I couldn't see him. He like lost him in the crowd.
He's 168 centimeters according to Wikipedia. He's a small man.
He's smaller than me, which is mental. I'm not a big dude.
He's good. His second goal was a snag. Love that goal. He's just running.
One
Very
game,
far.
2 goals. That's what we love. That's what we love here.
Yeah, we love that.
That is.
Now, I saw a funny
Yeah.
tweet actually on this game. It was a tweet and it said, "Is it just me or does number 15 just not suit Shea Bolden at all?"
Yeah.
That's what he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 50. That's
I'll-
such a good call.
You know what I
I'll go
mean?
one
Speaking
more.
of-
I'll go one more and say, yeah. I'll go one
Oh,
more and
love
say
that.
I don't think the jumper suits him. I don't think he
Yeah.
looks good in the jumper.
That's a good question.
He
Which
looks
like
so,
which like person being traded just looks horrific in a new jumper?
Isaac Smith in Geelong looks just shocking.
No, he looks sensational in Geelong colours. This is Isaac Smith special. This one.
That's
Oh, he looks
beautiful.
so sexy in this kit.
What about you, Tim? Where's a player that just didn't look right?
Just didn't look right. Like genuinely just horrific.
What
That's a
about
good
Gibbs in an Adelaide jersey?
Nah, that wasn't. It's got to look really bad. Like it's just.
What about Tyrone
Jay in
Hickory in a Hawthorn jersey?
Yep, that's a great example. Jack Fitzpatrick in a
looks so-
Hawthorn jersey. That just didn't look right.
It's he.
Kicked a goal from 80. It was so funny. I love that story where he's chatting to like Sam Mitchell and Jordan Lewis on his first day at Hawthorn in like 2016. And he's like, "You blokes have won more premierships than I have games." I think he'd won 3 games or something at the time, and Lewis and Mitchell had won 4 flags each.
Yeah,
That's crazy when you think about it.
I remember that goal against Collingwood.
That was a big
Anyway.
kick.
He didn't know how to celebrate either. He was like, "Ooh."
He didn't. I don't think he knew it was a goal. I was at the footy club when that happened. Oh, one of these
pretty
kids that
funny.
was a Collingwood supporter absolutely cracked it. He's like, "We always lose at bloody Hawthorn. Hawthorn never lose. It's actually rubbish. Then you get these duds from Melbourne who kick these late clutch goals." It was so funny. He went on this absolute tirade. It was hilarious. Oh, it was hilarious. I'm going to think a bit harder on a shocking jumper switch. I'm going to think harder on that because that's a great, it's a good one. Oh, Dale
Mm,
No, I
Thomas.
didn't watch
Michael-
a minute of the St Kilda Richmond game. Janus, did you watch any of it?
No, I had it on the radio, but it was competitive up until 3/4 time, and then they just went whack, the Saints. But
Richmond hit
didn't
the
watch any of
front.
it.
And then St Kilda just went bang in the second quarter.
But the big
Yeah.
news coming out of that game, obviously, is Brian Mansell, that push on Liam O'Connell, I think it is. I mean, it was a bad injury. I mean, he copped it right in the head. He fell like completely over himself. But what do we think of that? That act is now a suspendable act. He's out for 3 weeks.
Oh, and are Richmond challenging it? I haven't heard anything.
Oh no, I think I only found out today. So I think the deadline's like Wednesday or
Oh
something.
no, they found out yesterday. Surely they're challenging it. They won't get off it. I don't think it should be a suspendable offense personally.
Mm.
Only because of the nature of that one. Because it's
Yeah.
not like
See,
because it's just forward craft ultimately, and it's not like they were really. It's not like he was under him when he pushed him either. He like pushed him and then he walked a few steps, and then just got smacked by Lynch. He's a clumsy donut just running around in 50 trying to kill everyone. But I don't like it. But the reason I think I don't like it the most is because it just didn't exist before the season.
so I'm
Like-
I'm comfortable with this purely because this is the classic, like, this is going to be the grey area case, for example. So I think this is a perfect case to suspend a player, purely because if say it was cut and dry, like say I full on shove Janus in the back into your elbow, right? Like that's clear cut. See you later, toodaloo. But then you get an example like this when then some get suspended and some don't. This is definitely more on the softer end. Do I agree it should be a suspend? I'm going to contradict myself. Do I think this should be suspended? No, I think you should play. But as far as like a perfect test case for this is good. Because it will mean any incident that's worse than this will be suspended. And to be honest, it's not much worse than a player going back with the flight, getting nudged in the back a little bit, and then getting absolutely KO'd by the forward, who, yes, is known for knocking out a few players. But, like, I guess if they let this slide and let it go, it opens a can of worms later in the season. But I completely agree with you, Cookie. They shouldn't be changing rules halfway. Well, not even halfway. We're 4 weeks into the season.
It's definitely interesting. It opens a can of worms. Like, what is suspendable now? Because it's like if you push a player, but you're just like going for the ball or something, and then they just injure themselves. Like they just, I don't know.
It's more.
Did you guys see the? Did you see the umpire? Like the head of the umpires, he made a comment about it, and he said like they have to foresee that injury will occur or something like that. Like, I don't really in a game that's fast paced, high contact. You're also getting them to see the future.
I just need to see everything now. I need to know which way the ball bounces when it goes out of bounds.
It's the same thing with Jackson Archer and Luke Cleary at the start. What was that? Round one. Okay. What's Archer meant to do there?
That was a ridiculous suspension.
Do a triple double backflip over Luke Cleary.
It's not the same. Like
he had no idea he was going to ground. I know it's not the same, but it's a similar sort of thing where they're now getting the players to do too much.
The thing that frustrates me,
the future, get a time machine.
The thing that frustrates me is suspensions are outcome based now. So if Archer breaks his leg, there's no way he gets suspended. If O'Connell doesn't get concussed, he doesn't get suspended. Mansell doesn't get suspended. So this is what frustrates me a little bit. It was the same with the sling tackles. Like players were getting concussed, bang, you're gone. Players weren't getting concussed, bang, you're safe, you're fine. Like that's
I don't penalizing the outcome, not the decision.
Not the action. Like if I full on shove Janus in the back into Cookie's elbow and it knocks him clean out,
you would never get up me on that.
Like it's out. But then say like, or even a better example, say I full on shove him back with the flight into Cookie running out, trying to take a mark, and he gets hit in the face and he just bounces up and he's fine. Or, buddy, I do it a different way. Like I slightly work him under the ball and he gets clipped by an elbow and he's absolutely out cold. Or even better, it just touches him and he gets a concussion because some people are more susceptible to concussions than others. It's just fact. So, like, as I said before, this is a good case that if they stamp it out, it'll make it clearer later in the year for some of the more, like, worse ones.
There was always going to be one, and this is the one.
This is very similar to David McKay with Hunter Clark a couple of years ago. Do you remember that up in Darwin? When McKay ran off the line and, like, jumped to go for the ball, and he, like...
You got a lot of weeks for that,
Nah, he got 3, but he got off an appeal. But if you did what he did now, you'd get rubbed out. I reckon. There is a duty of care.
What do you reckon if there is a duty of care? What do you reckon if a player's taking a specky, they put their hands in the back of the person to get up, and in doing that, they like shove the player into like someone and they get concussed, but then they like take the hanger. You know what I mean? Because you know how players use their but
that's going with the flight of the ball though.
What if a player's running the other way and then they could foresee that they're going to like collide. I don't know. You know what I mean?
When you're midair when you're midair and you're also expecting to look down,
It's
like
more if you knee someone in the
Plays
back of the head and it
magicians,
knocks
Jameis.
them out. What happens then?
Yeah, when that gets oh, yeah, if I might get raided.
No, or
Anyway,
if I
it
go
was a
back
good win
with
by
the
the Saints.
flight, if I go back with the flight and I elbow you coming towards the ball, what happens then? So, like, say
Not
you and
going for the
Janus
If
are
ball.
you've got your eyes
Maybe.
on the ball, it's fine, surely.
yeah.
both eyes on the ball.
True.
Yeah,
So then the way to just
But
not
what
get
if the other
suspended in
bloke-
this case is to just have your
Look at
eyes
the
on the
ball.
ball but body them under
Look
the
at the
ball.
ball.
Mansell couldn't even see the ball. That was the problem.
Yeah, so he's a
Like,
veggie.
above him.
yeah.
Anyway, good win by the
So
Saints.
when in doubt, look at the
nonetheless.
ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Look at the pill. It's that time of the week.
Uh,
Our favourite segment, the unsung heroes.
What
What are you doing?
Nope.
What?
We've got the Hawks.
Oh, who cares? They won in Tassie. It's a home ground. It's
All I
a,
wanted to bring up with the Hawks game.
Yep.
All I wanted to bring up with the Hawks game. I don't care about I do care about the result, but anyway, the wind. That was the most important part of that game. And Janus and I were out. I checked the score at quarter time and we're down by about 40 points. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, what is going on? I then proceed to check the score every 5 minutes after that. And we kick about 3 goals in like 10 minutes. Oh, sorry, 3 goals every 5 minutes. And we were back to level. So that was interesting. That got me thinking, what are some windy games? Gone to the archives again, and I've gone to 2015. North versus West Coast down at Blundstone Arena. I encourage you to go search this game up. There is a ball that Sam Butler from the Eagles, it's a name we haven't heard for a long time, number 28, tries to drill a ball into Elliot Yeo. The ball then, like a boomerang, goes forward and then comes around and starts going backwards and lands. He kicks it about 10 meters, kicks it near the center square, and it basically goes back into the center square. It's remarkable. So, what do we think, boys? Is that a reason for a roof in Tassie? Is it more showing?
yes. They just need one down there anyway.
Yeah, I think, mate, let it play. Let it happen.
Let it happen.
Footy,
I
man.
saw an interesting debate, actually. If they let the wind, like if they didn't build a stadium with a roof, would the Tassie team have would they kind of give them like a home ground advantage because they're so used to the wind? Like they'd be like the wind team. But then they were saying no one would ever go play for Tassie if half the games there were in monsoons.
Yeah, it's the home ground
no,
man.
advantage. It's home ground advantage anyway. 'Cause it's so
Stadium advantage
cold.
Anyway, yeah.
What if they made some indoor dome? Is that a really home ground advantage or is it just like
Nah,
Marvel?
but it's still like,
You know what I mean?
It's just like Marvel.
still travel.
Yeah, true.
But I'd go then. I'd go and watch Carlton play
Yeah,
Tassie
true,
if
true.
it was a roof. I'm not going to go watch Carlton play
True.
Tassie if I've got to go sit outside
true.
in 9 degrees.
Go to Ballarat for that.
Exactly. Exactly right. But like concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
You got to build the roof.
like Taylor Swift, right? Taylor Swift's probably not going to Hobart, but like, you know what I mean? There's at least a chance
yeah.
of getting a big nut, and you probably won't get the A grader, like a Taylor. I nearly said T Swizzle, Taylor
T
Swift,
Swizzle.
T Swizzle, or Ed Sheeran. You probably won't land them, but cities like Brisbane and that. Oh, did Brisbane have them? Probably, but like cities without the facilities anyway don't land them. So, I mean, we're always going to get them because we have the G. The G holds 100,000 people, but then on the you hold like 140. Anyway, they need a roof down there. And for the Big Bash too.
Mm.
Yes.
I don't know if Hawthorn will lose their sponsorship. I think they will, right?
Yeah.
I think they will.
Bad for the finances.
It's not good. It's not good. We're
Anyway.
going to have to win more games in Melbourne.
Yep.
Anyway,
2-20 season is
Well,
possible.
Liam, what were we doing instead of watching the old Hawthorn
oh,
and
we
Geelong games?
were.
Where were we?
Well, I was already a part of it, but I introduced you to the mighty Red Army.
The
We were
A-League,
at Amy
the
Park.
Adelaide United.
Oh,
I've had some
Yes,
family
well-
come over from Adelaide who are massive Adelaide United fans.
I love that.
And we've assembled the Avengers. Some Melburnians down to the game, and geez, we were in the thick of it. We had
Yep.
seats saved, 2 rows from the front, right behind the drum that was brought in.
Oh, it's
Oh
great.
God, my ears almost blew. It was phenomenal though. It was a great game as well. It was
There were 8 goals scored in the game.
that's
I mean,
8 goals scored.
as a West Ham supporter, as a watcher of the Premier League, if someone had told me West Ham had scored 3 goals, I would go, oh, we've won the game. Adelaide United lost the game 5-3. The Melbourne victory. It was just goals, and some pretty good goals as well.
Let's go, Auckland.
Let's
go.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are very
7 points
strong
clear.
at the moment,
That's what we
the All
like.
They are looking very good.
I've jumped on them to
their
see
first
if I
year as
can
well.
curse another team.
It's
But
But just watching the A-League, I mean, the supporter
What do you
base
think?
isn't particularly big, but the supporters that follow it, they are passionate. They
Oh, yeah.
are passionate fans.
it's
It was my
crisp.
first experience really with a football game, with a soccer game, like live. So good experience actually.
That's what we
you
like.
get segregated at Amy Park because the Victory supporters will.
The
They're f-
mongrels.
They're
apparently.
feral, mate.
One of the most interesting things, actually, when the game was finished, the Adelaide United fans all had to leave at the same exit, only for Adelaide United fans.
Yeah, that's like what they do in the
Basically
Prem.
segregated them all.
Yeah, they
I've
do that
never
in
seen
Europe.
that
They do that
before.
in Europe. Yeah, they do it in Europe.
I've never seen that before. Imagine that at a footy game.
That's why footy is the best sport in the world.
Weird.
Because, like,
You can sit next to an opposition supporter and not get your head bashed in.
no, literally.
Well, the Carlton Richmond game you couldn't, but anyway.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah.
it's because Carlton are degenerates. But
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. All right,
yeah.
when
Thanks to the
when
Red
the Red
Army.
Army come back, we'll go. We'll go again.
can we bring up the unsung heroes now?
Yes.
Apologies
yes,
for jumping
we
the
can.
gun.
Here we go.
I misread the run
Let's
sheet.
get there.
No,
I've jumped the gun.
there's no run sheet. I just have to get the Hawks in.
Yep. You just wanted to talk about them
Anyway,
being 4-0
all
for
right.
the first time since when? Like 2014?
2014.
Bang. All right,
Nah, long
Cookie,
way to
kick us off.
All right, my unsung hero has been brought up in this podcast already. You could argue he's not unsung, but I argue he is unsung because last year he didn't have a good year. The year before he had a great year. I'm talking about Bailey Humphrey.
Yes.
If you watch the first half of that game, he looked so good. Like, I'm serious. He was winning. Oh, he looked so strong.
Dusty like.
Clean.
Yeah.
No, but he wanted the ball so much, and I was
wanted
like,
the ball.
"Jeez, he's coming." So shout out to Bailey Humphrey because I thought he set the tone very early that he was going to be that bull in the midfield, and that's what Gold Coast need. They need more players to come along. If Real and Anderson can get like 2 or 3 of those a game from other people, they're looking good.
Mm.
He was my unsung hero.
That's beautiful.
Beat up.
Again, similar. Oh, probably more sung than unsung. But
Yep.
Jack Sinclair had 40.
Oh, jeez.
No
I didn't know he had 40.
Jack Steele steps up and has 40. It's a fair night under the roof. I realise they're only playing
What was his
Richmond.
fantasy.
He had like 53 at quarter time or something. In Supercoach, I'm pretty sure. He had a fistful. I don't know how many
Cool.
points
I
he
like that.
had, Supercoach points he had overall, but he had a lot early.
Jack
Janus?
Sinclair, he doesn't. I feel like Jack Sinclair is one of those blokes. When they play like rubbish, he cops it so much, but when they play well, he doesn't get much. Fair enough.
Good call.
Janus?
Yeah, I'll go. So, you boys will rip into me for this, but
God.
I've gone for the Geelong Brisbane game, and I've been waiting for a moment to sing this guy's praises. He hasn't given
Yep.
me much over the start of the year.
Oh, surely not.
I finally found.
O'Shane.
It's O'Shane Mullen. It's
Oh.
my boy.
Jesus Christ.
What
did he do?
I was very happy with him. He did get a goal kicked on him early by Charlie Cameron, but after that he locked in, kept him to 6 touches, kept him out in front, eliminated his sort of dangerous out the back, turning of the back shoulder, getting around, and he had 15 disposals. He had a goal assist, and he had 100% disposal efficiency in the rain.
That's not
Wet.
nothing.
Okay.
That's not nothing.
It's something. It's something. So
listen-
Charlie Cameron had
listen,
6
he worked-
touches.
He worked really hard around the ground. He provided outlet kicks. He presented himself as an option. There was a point where Neil had a lot of open space, and he ran from defense up through the midfield, gets the ball. Great kickoff to Jeremy Cameron for his first goal. But I reckon the conditions helped O'Shane. He's Irish. He's a Gaelic footballer, so he probably plays
All
in the wet.
players are brought down to a negative skill level.
He probably plays in the wet, back in Ireland, and so in a game that's not as skills based, he can sort of use his Gaelic attributes. So I was very happy with him. You will laugh at me, but I don't care.
Nah, that's 100% efficiency
That's
for
alright,
15
James.
touches. That's respectable. That's definitely
Right, Jonas, you back your man in.
back your man.
in. We'll
Back my man
absolutely
in.
towel him when he gets 4 kicked on him again in 5 minutes.
Well, no, you won't tell him in as much as I do. I'm his biggest lover and his biggest critic.
That's just crap. I'm not having that.
What do you mean? I am.
Fair
I am.
enough.
My boy.
Anyway, so votes
Well,
interesting this week. By the way, honourable mention Sam Davidson from
Yeah.
he was
Good.
phenomenal.
he wasn't particularly unsung, I reckon.
It's his third game.
Third game,
He is
but
unsung. No, he's definitely he is unsung.
He's
This is what I was thinking. For someone to win the medal, I feel like we have to consider them at the start of the year. Or were they at the start of the year?
watch
yeah.
their development, watch their progression.
Like,
Yeah.
as in, if Davidson has like 40 every week, he should get it every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, the votes. What do we think?
So who did we have? Humphrey, Sinclair, and O'Sheen.
Well, listen, Mullen is in a losing side, so he's obviously probably not going to get the
No,
votes.
we don't worry
I'll
about
put
that.
Mullen
yet.
at the 1.
We don't worry about that. But
I do. I'm concerned with winning.
Wait, who did you have, Cookie? You had
Baz,
I had Humphrey. I reckon he was pretty good.
Bailey, Humphrey. Yeah.
But in saying that, it was pretty easy to play against Melbourne with that Gold Coast team.
Yep.
But
Sinclair.
in saying that, it was even easier to
They
play
against
against
Richmond
with
under
that
the
St
roof,
Kilda
which is
team.
why Bailey Humphrey is
Yeah.
getting our 3 votes this week.
hang on. But Mullen did shut down Charlie Cameron,
No.
even though he lost the game. You guys are
Maybe.
just O'Sheen haters.
Janus, one
Oh.
guy's had 23 and a goal in a team that won by 10 goals. The others had 40 in a team that won by 12 goals.
Fair enough. But I'm back in my
That's
man.
nah.
He'll have his time,
Hey,
Jonas.
we're not stripping you of a vote. If Heath had like 6 touches, I would have stripped
You
you of the
would.
vote. But 15 at 100 in the wet is elite. It's 1 vote worthy
So
though.
we'll go Humphrey, Sinclair, O'Sheen.
I'm happy
Cool.
with that.
Sounds beautiful.
I think we're due for a double up soon. We'll start giving votes out more regularly, I feel.
Yep, I agree. Now, key watches, Janus. What are we looking for?
I'll just go quickly. I reckon North v Sydney will be a good game. I reckon Sydney are gettable under the roof.
So you're big. You're
The Marvel.
Key watch. That's big. That's what we like.
How
Cookie.
much are North going to win by?
Oh, hang on. Nope. There we go. That's what I was gonna. I was trying to allude to.
How much they're gonna win by? I'll say They'll win by 7 goals. Paul Curtis will kick
Jeez.
2 goals. He'll kick 2 goals.
I love
Alright.
that. Cookie?
That'll be a big win. My big watch. I think the Crows are going to win by 6 goals against the Suns.
Ooh.
Bang.
It's my big watch. I reckon the Crows smell blood. I reckon they have to win away to finish top 4. This one is gettable. So I think the Crows are going to put on a clinic. It's my big call. And I reckon if I'm picking a call for the match, let's say Rankin kicks 4.
I love that.
How do you think the
You set it up.
Hydra will go?
The 3-headed monster.
Yeah, the Hydra. Cut one's head
Hydra.
off.
Oh, it'd probably be
take his
Dewey.
place.
And Collins is a good defender.
It's at 120. It's at 120 though
Probably
on
go
a
to.
Saturday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hot. Maybe. I don't know how hot it's
I
going to
reckon
be.
conservative. Could not kick 5.
Okay.
It up. What do you think? Big call.
Big call.
What about the Blues just smack the Pies by 100 at the G on Thursday? What are the odds the Blues are leading at half time and lose?
Low. Actually high because we're probably going to jump them because Collingwood haven't played. I'm thinking about it. I got a few, but I just don't know which one to go with. I will say Collingwood do it again. They win by less than a
As
goal.
in- Oh no.
They do it for like the 5th straight match in a row. Or no, it's less than that. Last year, both under a goal. 2022 by a point. 2022 by 3 points. I reckon Collingwood win by less than a goal. They do it again. But I think there's only one, to be honest, there's only one way that they can hurt us again. Like, in 2022, the first time we played them, we were coming and they hung on. Then we were 5 goals up. Jamie Elliott runs in and ripped my heart out. Then bloody Nick Dacos kicks a goal with a minute left, put him up by 6 points. And then we're down by 5 goals. We come. McGovern misses after the siren.
How about that?
Like, what other way can we lose to them by under a kick? They'll find a new way, though. Like,
Harry Mackay, top of the 50 mark, after the siren, on the full.
no, but that's already happened.
Only,
McGovern did it.
oh, true.
Collingwood
Yeah,
kick
true.
a point after
you
the
can't be
siren
hurt.
to win.
Who's kicking the point?
Ex
Pendles.
players on Collingwood? No, there's not.
Pendlebury.
Pendles kicks a point after the
Pendlebury kicks a
siren.
point after the siren to win the game for the Pies.
Bang. I can see the journal now, the headline.
But TDK could get on top. Towel up the Coxilla. Run him off the ground. That's what I
Love-
would do.
I'd love that. Anyway, it's been another great episode. Lots to ponder, lots to think about. Hopefully your team wins this coming week. Big round 4. One more week till gather round. Am I correct in saying that?
Very exciting.
Yes. So
We're off to that.
we'll be there. We'll be providing much Instagram content for you all. So stay tuned
Oh,
to
yes.
the 3/4 time Instagram. Thank you all for listening through the airwaves and the internet fibers and the optics. This is T-Dub, Cookie and Janus from 3/4 time and going of a big last quarter. Put your head over the pill. Really smash in, all right? Smash into the week. Thank you.